Hello and welcome to another update of the MK4 Supra build. So if you don't know, I'm swapping a 1UZ engine into it because I bought it as a rolling shell. So no need to be a hater and tell me I should have put a 2J or left the 2J because there was no 2J to leave in there. So here is my board of things that I needed to do. Finally finished off the gearbox mount. I've done the brakes. So as I've shown the brakes earlier in another video. Obviously it's dark here. I have put in the front brakes, but I've got wheels on at the moment. I finally had a chance to bleed them. I had no issues with bleeding the brakes apart from one wheel, which was the passenger side rear. I could just not get pressure out of the bleeder, and obviously the wheel is on there. I actually had to take the bleeder out and clean it inside because it was just rusted out or just blocked up. As soon as I've done that, the brakes have bled and they are absolutely spot on, front and back. There's no air and the pedal feel is great. So the next thing I was working on is the gearbox mount, and I've got a handy light under the car, so this is how it looks under here. And yes, the welds are shocking, but it's just what I had, well, that's the best of my abilities at this moment with the welder that I have. But the gearbox is all mounted up, and I know it looks off center, but this tunnel is off center, and it really has confused me initially, but then I've measured stuff up and it does seem to be in line, so I'm happy with that. So the prop shaft is in place, and I was missing some bolts on the prop shaft, not even prop shaft, the drive shaft. That's been replaced, and I've also replaced the gearbox. No, I didn't replace the gearbox oil, but I replaced the diff oil. It was really bad. I should turn it upside down. So the gearbox, the prop shaft, oh my god, the diff oil was really bad. It was sludged up and probably overheated at some point, and obviously the car had been stood for about 10 years. So that has been replaced with brand new oil, 7590, because it's an open diff, nothing special about it. I did check the gearbox oil and it was okay, it was brand new oil, so I just left it. And another thing I have done is I finished up the gear lever, or the gear lever linkage. So finally I can properly do this. So I've got reverse, obviously I've got no clutch at the moment. I've got first and second and third and fourth and fifth, so all gears are there. Happy with that. So I just need to bleed the clutch at some point. That's going to be one of my next jobs to do. And I've managed to make some genuine barn find dust, so I can claim this is a barn find. And as you can see, my mates have really dry sense of humour. What else? So I did have the radiator modified, so I had the new inlet and outlet welded on. So basically I bought a couple of these adapters, not adapters, but like just aluminium bits. Took it to a guy I know who can TIG weld, and he literally cut one of these into two halves and just welded them on. So basically the radiator system is almost done. So I've got the pipes on. I had to shorten these. The radiator looks like it's sticking out quite a bit, but I have closed the bonnet and it's absolutely fine, so I'm not worried about that. I've got the expansion bottle on the way. It's actually in a local post office because they are rather crap. Not the bottle, the post office guys. But yeah, I've got the actual expansion bottle to go on here, so that's fine. I do need to mess around with these brackets. So the radiator is pretty much where it's supposed to be. I guess the bracket needs to sit a bit higher, but it just doesn't line up. So I need to make something up here. Obviously, same situation here. They just don't look like they've been designed for this radiator. I don't know why, but it is what it is. I'll just have to make something up here. I had these pipes modified. You can just barely see. So these two pipes that were joined together by a little tube. So it was like that basically. Oops. They were something like that. And I've cut the pipe that was joining them and had it all welded up, so it's all nice and neat. And what else? So yeah, so that's going to basically finish off my cooling system. There's two pipes there, as you can see, and they just need trimming down. And these are the two pipes that go onto the heater matrix, which I'd really like to clean it, but I'm not entirely sure how. So I might just at some point just run the water through and take one of the radiator pipes off and just keep letting the water flow through just to clean it all out. So I think that's it, what I have done. It's not a lot, but in the same way it's a lot. So the gearbox is mounted in this place where it should be, or at least where I think it should be. The diff oil has been changed. The gear linkage is all finished up now, and I'm not going to touch that again. The brakes are bled. So yeah, literally to make the car drivable, all I have to do now is bleed the clutch, and yeah, that should be it. Really bleed the clutch, and it should in theory drive. So the first test, oh well, I forgot exhaust. So the exhaust system I don't think I've shown this, or maybe I did. So I've got, this exhaust has been previously on a 1UZ Supra. There are a few more in the UK, and this guy, he went turbo route and he had the exhaust for sale. So I bought this section. So that section has been on a Supra with 1UZ. It's got a couple of flexes in there, so that's all good. I made a couple of gaskets like this. So they're gonna go on there. I think I need to trim them a little bit. No, they kind of line up. So yeah, I've got a couple of those gaskets now. Just bought some of that stuff. Just some gasket material, nothing special. It was an absolute nightmare to cut it though, because there's some rubber in. There's some rubber in there, and it was just a nightmare to cut it. This section I bought from someone else at some point in my life. So that will need trimming. I cannot remember which end. I think it's that end that will need cutting off. And I've got a V-band basically. Ignore the horrible welds. We'll clean them up. But I've got another part of the V-band to go onto this part. And then I've got a nice job can to actually Cobra exhaust. Who knew? So I've got this section to go on that I don't need to modify. Well, I do need to weld on another hanger because there's only one and it's hard to align at the moment. So I need to make another bracket for this. That will stay where it is. That should just bolt up where it needs to be. And then I just need to modify this section a little bit. I think it's just shortening it. And that will be the exhaust system done. And then just tidy up a few electrical things. Such as, what do I have to do? Oh, I need to sort out the wiring for the alternator. That's the only thing that I've got left to do really, wiring wise. And well, I need to put a relay for this, but I know how to bypass it for now. So yeah, that will be the update for the Supra. I don't think there's that much more work for it to at least move under its own power, which will be a massive confidence boost that I can get this car on the road sooner rather than later. I do need to check out rear suspension because I think one of the top arms is dead. Because when I had the wheel on, I was moving it around, and yeah, there was a lot of movement in somewhere. I think it's the top arm, but that's the job for another day. Interior is obviously in bits at the moment and needs a clean, but again, that's story for another day. So yeah, that'll be it for the update. Quite a lot of work has been done, but not a lot of work that can be seen. But that's sometimes the reality of these projects. You keep grinding away and then you don't really see the results. But that board is what makes me motivated or crossing things off. I actually just noticed that I can cross off another thing off, which is gearbox oil, and that's all gone. Yep, so that'll be it for today. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to follow the progress of the Supra and see it on the road one day, just consider subscribing. That'll be much appreciated. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.